In Zelda Breath of the Wild, I met a dude named Bolson. He had me destroy a forest and give him 3,000 rupees in exchange for real estate. I bought myself this cute little cottage that I decorated like I was a professional interior designer. Oh, that's nice. By adorning the walls with my weapons and shields, the building transformed from a mere house into a home. Turns out that doesn't mean much where the monarchy is concerned. When I came back to my house in Tears of the Kingdom, the sign out front said Zelda's house. Not only did this princess start squatting, she replaced all of my wonderful decoration with these terribly tacky paintings. She took down the picture of us and our dead friends, I guess to make room for this guy and a goat. Yeah, I mean, it's alright. Video games are brimming with art. From box art to music to models and textures, games are a wellspring of creativity. But what I want to focus on is in-game emulated art. Specifically, paintings, prints, posters, and other paraphernalia that devs plaster on their programmed partitions and panels. P is the letter of the day. And that stands for Portal 2.
This is art. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, stare at the art. You should now feel mentally reinvigorated.
As part of the opening tutorial, the game has us stare at this beautiful little mountain scene. A small cabin next to a calm lake with a giant mountain looming in the distance. The game sends you to bed, and when you wake up again, things are in disarray. There's a lot going on, and the game prompts you towards the front door, but if you take the time to look around, you might notice that the painting you were just staring at has changed. It's similar to the original, same cottage, same lake, same mountain, but the scene is night now. The lake feels cold, fog has moved in, and a full moon is hanging in the sky. The change in paintings is a small detail most players wouldn't notice, but if you do, it's unsettling. It makes you ask questions. Did someone change the paintings, or am I in a new room? Was someone in here while I slept? Is the painting inspired by Thomas Kincaid's Lakeside Hideaway? The resemblance is definitely there. It's not uncommon to find famous works of art in games. For example,
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil fills their environment with a variety of classical works. St. Jerome writing by Jose Rivera can be found on the walls of the Baker's family home in Resident Evil 7. A resident of Raccoon City has Gerard David's Virgin and Child with 4 Angels on display in their apartment. My personal favorite is a painting that the devs must have a soft spot for too, because it appears multiple times throughout the series. Judith beheading Holofernes by Caravaggio. The painting depicts the beheading of Assyrian general Holofernes. After seducing the general, the widowed Judith stays in his tent after he passes out drunk. Judith uses the general's own sword to carve into his neck, as he attempts to turn and twist his head to face his killer. A look of horror and pained realization on his face as his blood spills across the canvas. Mondays, am I right? This is a poster hanging in the CSGO map, Office. If you look around the room, you'll find plenty of other paintings on display. This painting of the map Inferno, this hummingbird stopping to smell the lavender, these flowers standing solemnly, their petals decorating the ground. Compared to the classical masterpieces pulled into Resident Evil, these paintings are quiet. The subject matter, somewhat benign. These kind of paintings are some of my favorites, because they're not made to be looked at. At least, not in the same way most paintings are. Sure, you're gonna have glimpses of them in between gunplay, but they're not pieces of art placed into the cyberspace to be admired. They exist to make the environment feel real and lived in. This is art that has been delegated as background decoration, acting to give texture and a sense of immersion to a digital world. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Uncharted 4.
These are actually some nice paintings. If we don't find the treasure, maybe we could sell them to a museum.
These are paintings the game demands you look at. Each painting an impressive and imposing portrait framed in an archway. The orange hue of torchlight envelops the faces of the pirates, working together with the environment to direct the player's eyes. The game does more than just draw in your attention. In order to solve the puzzle, it's necessary for the player to get up close and personal, taking in the texture of the canvas and the wear on the frame as you examine the paintings for clues.
that straight?
Who the hell cares?
Well, I care.
Puzzles aren't the only way games have players interacting with paintings. Mario 64. Oh, baby. Unlike Zelda, Peach is a princess with some taste. She has filled her castle with some of the most iconic paintings in gaming. Each of the paintings in her castle act as a warp to a different zone in the game, all clearly distinct from each other, depicting a little bit about the environment they represent. You've got the snow level, you've got the water level, you've got the bomb level. Yep. That's the big three. These paintings ooze personality. The elongated stems of the mushrooms on Tall Tall Mountain, the goofy expression of the Goombas on Tiny Huge Island, the alluring mystery of the shipwreck at the bottom of Jolly Rogers Bay. They remade the game for the DS, and I'm scratching my head. A lot of the charm of these paintings is gone. The color and composition has shifted, making these paintings feel bland in comparison to the original. How did we go from this to this? From this to this? From this to this?
Not exactly what I imagined. I believe I posed with all my clothes on. Clearly remember that, in fact.
The Witcher 3 gives special attention to its paintings.
About you, Witcher? Do you know anything about paintings?
You bid for paintings in auctions, you help a painter find inspiration for his artworks. You even enter a painted world to find the memories of a dead woman. As you adventure, you can collect many gorgeous landscapes and portraits. Ship leaving the harbor, the Beauclair Palace, knight returning from his quest, or the fabulous painting of Hierarch Hemmelfart.
Portrait of the Hierarch. Nice.
In The Sims, your sim can become an artist and create masterpieces of their own. The kind of painting your sim will make depends on their personality and skill. In The Sims 3, the final look of your painting can be affected by the sim's trait. Different traits result in different Photoshop filters being slapped onto the painting. Yeah, I'm kinda neurotic. In The Sims 4, the painting system has changed. Instead of the trait of your sim influencing their paintings, their emotional state can influence it. You can have sad paintings, angry paintings, flirty paintings, grilled cheese paintings. Minecraft's paintings are beloved, each painted by contemporary Swedish artist Christopher Zetterstrand, who combines painting and 3D generated worlds together. Each of Minecraft's pixelated paintings have a real-world counterpart with much more detail. These physical paintings sometimes incorporated pixelated elements, such as the fighters in the aptly named Fighters, and the flames in Skull on Fire. If you like video games and paintings, it's worth searching up Zetterstrand's work outside of Minecraft. He's an artist with a deep appreciation for video games and painting. His debut exhibition in 2002 are all paintings from various Counter-Strike maps taken from a perspective outside the bounds of the game's environment. It's not easy to recognize given their size, but each of these 1x1 block paintings are pulled from that original showcase. The maps Aztec and Dust 2, respectively. The painting Bonjour, Monsieur Courbet is based on Gustave Courbet's painting of the same name. The painting Graham depicts the player character from the 1980s game King's Quest. Standing in the painting, Still Life with Quince, Cabbage, Melon, and Cucumber by Juan Sanchez Cotan. Pointer depicts the main character of 1987's International Karate Plus fighting a pointer finger, likely a reference to Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam. These works are paintings about video games and paintings, existing as paintings inside of a video game. It's all very cute, but it gets even better. Minecraft has a widespread appeal and a talented community of creators. Many of these creatives like to recreate these pixelated paintings in the real world. Some even recreate the art in their own style, likely unaware of the original paintings they're based on. But the creativity doesn't stop there. You can find many resource packs that change the game's paintings into something entirely new. Classical art, original pieces, pop culture.
If you suspect staring at art has not provided the required intellectual sustenance, reflect briefly on this classical music.